What if I told you that everything you've been taught about success might be the very thing holding you back? That power, true power, doesn't always come from doing more, but from mastering the art of doing less. Less noise, less chaos, but more control, more strategy, more inner strength. In this video, we are going to explore how you can outsmart anyone, not through deception or manipulation, but through the quiet mastery of strategy and self-control. We're going to dive into the 6 Machiavellian rules for total dominance, but we won't just be looking at them through the lens of cold ambition. No, we're going to blend these powerful rules with the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Why Stoicism? Because Stoic philosophy teaches us that true power doesn't come from domination over others, but from dominion over ourselves. It's the ability to stay calm when the world around you is anything but. It's about knowing when to speak, when to act, and when to remain silent, all while remaining true to your deepest values. This video isn't about manipulative tactics or cunning games. It's about using these principles as tools to build a life where you lead with purpose, where you control what you can and accept what you can't. By the end, you'll have a roadmap for navigating the world, not by overpowering others, but by mastering the most important thing, yourself. So take a deep breath, lean in, and let's begin. Rule 1. The ends justify the means. Imagine for a moment, you stand at the crossroads of a decision. It's a tough one. You've worked hard, put in the hours, the sweat, the sacrifice. But now the finish line is within reach and something's holding you back. Maybe it's doubt. Maybe it's the fear of what others might think, but deep down, you know what needs to be done. You know that the reward, the outcome, will change everything for you. This is where the Machiavellian rule, the ends justify, the means, comes into play. It's not about ignoring ethics. It's about understanding that sometimes, to get where you need to go, you must step outside your comfort zone. You must challenge your own limitations, and this is where your true power lies. Not in seeking approval, not in following the crowd, but in understanding that your goals, your vision, your purpose are more important than the small fleeting discomforts you may face along the way. You might wonder, but at what cost? And that's a fair question. The Stoic response would be this: the cost is never in compromising your character, your integrity, or your values. That's never the price to pay. But sometimes the price is discomfort. The price is the emotional strain of pushing through resistance. The price is doing what others may not be willing to do, taking the necessary steps, however difficult, to achieve what you truly desire. The price is facing fear head-on and pushing beyond it. Think about the times when you've let fear stop you, when you've held back from making a decision that could propel your life forward because of doubts about how others might perceive you. Maybe you've stayed silent when you should have spoken up, or maybe you've avoided a hard conversation because it felt easier to live with the uncertainty. But in the end, what has that uncertainty brought you? Has it moved you closer to your goals, to your true potential? No, it hasn't. You've remained in that place of fear, holding yourself back from your own greatness. But what if you decided right now to take a different path? What if you said, I will no longer let fear dictate my decisions. I will take the necessary steps, no matter how uncomfortable, to create the life I envision. This is the essence of Machiavelli's rule. The ends justify the means, because the goal, your vision is worth the effort. It's worth the sacrifice. And the Stoic wisdom teaches us to understand that the discomfort is not something to be feared. It's part of the journey. It's part of the transformation. And most importantly, It's part of you becoming the person you were always meant to be. Ask yourself, what is it that you truly want? What is the end goal that drives you? Even when things get tough, is it a career that fulfills you, a life of peace and contentment, success that allows you to lead the way for others, whatever it is? Understand this, the discomfort you feel is temporary. It's the path that others won't take, but it's the one that will bring you closer to your goals. Every step you take, no matter how difficult, is bringing you closer to that end result. Every choice you make, every action you take in alignment with that end goal is shaping the person you're becoming. It's time to stop holding yourself back. It's time to stop letting small obstacles define your journey. The pain of growth, the discomfort of taking bold steps, is nothing compared to the satisfaction of achieving what you've set out to do. And let me tell you, when you reach the end of this journey, you'll look back and realize that every hard choice, every moment of discomfort was worth it. Because what you gain, the person you become, the life you create, that is, always ensure that people will follow your lead, stand by your side, or give you the space to grow. If you focus solely on being loved, you may find yourself constantly accommodating others, compromising your own needs, and living for the approval of those around you. And in doing so, you risk losing yourself. But when you focus on being respected, on commanding authority through your actions, your principles, and your consistency, you become someone whose presence alone demands attention. This doesn't mean you need to be cruel or unapproachable. No, it means understanding that your actions, your decisions, and your behavior must align with a clear sense of purpose. When you live with purpose, when you lead with integrity, people will either respect you or distance themselves. But the key is this: it's better to be respected, even if it's through a bit of fear, than to be loved without being understood or respected. You've likely had moments when people have pushed your boundaries. They've tested you. They've seen how far they can go without facing consequences. How did that feel? How did it make you doubt yourself, your decisions, your strength? The truth is, when you allow others to step over your boundaries without consequence, you weaken your position. But when you establish boundaries, when you set clear expectations, people start to respect you for it, even if they don't always like it. There's a reason why great leaders throughout history, from ancient philosophers to modern figures, have understood the value of respect over affection. People who are respected, even from a distance, have the power to influence, to inspire, and to create lasting change. And that's the type of power you should strive for. You don't have to be feared in a tyrannical way. You don't need to inspire hatred. What you need is to stand firm in your values, to make it clear that you are not easily swayed by others' whims. That's the type of power that ensures your path will not be easily derailed. People may come and go, but respect earned through your actions and principles will be the foundation that you can build upon. Ask yourself, what do I fear more? The idea of being liked by everyone, or the idea of being someone who stands firm, respected, and unwavering in my purpose? When you shift your focus to being respected, when you truly understand that fear is not the enemy, but rather a tool for setting boundaries, you unlock a power within you. True strength is not about being universally loved. It's about knowing when to stand your ground, when to make difficult choices, and when to remind others that your boundaries, your goals, and your integrity are not negotiable. In doing so, you will become the type of person others look up to, not because they fear you, but because they respect you. And that, my friend, is a far more enduring and powerful force than mere affection. So take a moment and reflect on your own life. Are you focused on gaining love and approval? Or are you working toward gaining the respect that will carry you through any challenge? The choice is yours. And when you choose respect, you'll find a strength within you that you may have never known was there. Rule 4, appear weak when you are strong. Imagine for a moment you've worked, relentlessly honed your skills, built your knowledge, and your strength is undeniable. But here's the key. True power isn't about always showcasing that strength. Sometimes appearing vulnerable, seeming less confident, or even stepping back can give you the upper hand. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But in reality, it's one of the most effective strategies for long-term success. You see, true strength doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to dominate every room. Real strength is quiet, calculated and measured. When you show too much of your strength too soon, you risk provoking resistance. People feel threatened by those who are too confident, too powerful. But when you appear weaker than you truly are, you disarm your opponents. You create space for yourself, allowing others to underestimate you. And that's where the real power lies. Think about a time in your life when you might have held back your full potential, not because you lacked confidence, but because you understood the dynamics at play. When you purposely allowed others to believe you were less capable than you are. What happened? Perhaps they overestimated their own position, or maybe they let their guard down in those moments. You were in control. You set the stage for success because you didn't allow your strength to be a threat. It's not about tricking others. It's about knowing when to reveal your strength and when to hold it back. When you appear weak, you create room for others to make assumptions, but in doing so, you maintain the element of surprise. You allow your true strength to be revealed at the precise moment. It will have the most impact. The key here is timing and control. When you choose to act, you do so with the full force of your capability. But until then, you remain the calm center in the storm, steady and unassuming. Compromise in some situations, being perceived as cruel or ruthless, might be exactly what you need to shift the balance in your favor. It's about ensuring that your boundaries are respected, your decisions are followed, and your time is not taken for granted. You don't need to be cruel in every situation, but there will be times when that reputation, the reputation of being capable of making the hard call, of doing what needs to be done, will give you the advantage. It's the kind of power that doesn't rely on persuasion or charm, but on the certainty that when you act, people will listen. This rule isn't about making enemies, but about setting boundaries that cannot be ignored. It's about creating a presence so strong that when you speak, people listen, not out of fear of harm, but out of respect for your ability to follow through with your decisions. There is strength in showing that you are capable of decisiveness, that you are capable of making the tough choices, even when they may not be popular. You may already have instances in your life where you've had to set hard boundaries, where you've had to make choices that others didn't like, but ultimately protected you. That's the kind of reputation you want to build, a reputation that others won't take lightly, but one that ensures you are always respected. The truth is, strength isn't always about being nice or agreeable. Sometimes it's about knowing when to step up, when to stand firm, and when to let others know that you are not someone to be trifled with. In a world full of compromises, being known for your strength, to act decisively, no matter how harsh it may seem, is a power you can wield to your advantage. Reflect on your journey. Do you feel the need to be liked and accepted by everyone? Or do you understand that true strength comes from being someone others can respect, even if it's because they know you will do whatever it takes to maintain your standards? The choice is yours. Build the reputation that suits the person you want to become. And remember, sometimes a reputation for cruelty is not cruelty at all. It's simply the power to do what others will not rule. 6. Always keep your enemies close when you think about your journey toward power, influence, and personal growth. You might find yourself wondering who stands in my way. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of overcoming obstacles by distancing yourself from those who don't support you. But here's the secret. The key to true control lies in understanding your enemies, in keeping them close, rather than pushing them away. You've heard it said before, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. It might sound counterintuitive, maybe even a little unsettling. Why would you want to stay close to someone who opposes you, who challenges your beliefs, or who threatens your goals? The truth is, those who oppose you can be some of your greatest sources of insight and strength. Think about your enemies. It might be someone who undermines your efforts, or someone who simply doesn't share your vision on the surface. They may seem like the people you should avoid or defeat at all costs, but when you take a step back and reflect, there's a lot to learn from them. They push you to refine your approach, to be sharper in your strategies, and to recognize the weaknesses in your plans. By keeping your enemies close, you create an opportunity for yourself to understand their tactics, their motivations, and even their vulnerabilities. It's like having a front row seat to their game. When you observe them carefully, you can anticipate their next move. You see where they might be strong and where they might be weak. You learn how they think and how they react in different situations, but it's not just about outsmarting them. It's about learning from them. Your enemies have qualities that can help you grow. Maybe they're more resourceful than you realized, or maybe they understand the world in ways that you haven't yet considered. By keeping them close, you allow yourself to absorb their strengths while neutralizing their power over you. In some cases, your enemies can even become your allies when you understand them. When you show them respect and acknowledge their strengths, they may begin to respect you in return. You might find that the very people you once considered threats are actually partners in disguise, offering you new perspectives and helping you refine your own position. But let's be clear, keeping your enemies close doesn't mean trusting them blindly. It's not about becoming overly familiar or forgetting the reasons you oppose them. It's about strategic observation, understanding, and managing the dynamic between you. You don't have to agree with them, but you need to understand their intentions and actions. That understanding gives you the power to predict their next steps and to stay one step ahead. Think about the enemies in your own life. Who is it that stands in your way? How do they challenge you? And what do they make you question about yourself? Rather than fighting them from a distance,